You might be stunned by how the cast of The Big Bang Theory looks in 2025. Those once adorable nerds have undergone transformations far beyond what anyone could have imagined. Some changes will warm your heart, while others may leave you speechless. Who has weathered the years best, and who has not? Let's take a closer look. Johnny Galecki as Leonard Hofstadter. Johnny Galecki, born on April 30th, 1975, breathed life into Leonard Hofstadter, the gentle, slightly awkward physicist with an earnest heart. At 32, he took on the role that would secure his place in pop culture. Having built a steady career since his Roseanne days, Galecki's professional path appeared stable, but his private life tells a more bittersweet story. In 2023, he secretly married Morgan Galecki, and together they welcomed a daughter, marking a quiet chapter of happiness. Yet his 2020 split from Malina Meyer was anything but private. Her public criticism on social media drew unwanted attention. Years earlier, during The Big Bang Theory's run, Galecki had dated co-star Kaley Cuoco, a relationship whose painful end made him more guarded in love. By 2025, at 50 years old, Galecki has shifted toward producing small, low-profile projects, his eyes reflecting the fatigue of years marked by both achievement and personal upheaval. Kaley Cuoco as Penny. Born on November 30th, 1985, Kaley Cuoco became the embodiment of Penny, the charming neighbor whose radiant smile could melt hearts. At just 21, she stepped into the role that would carry her from modest sitcom appearances to international fame. Beyond The Big Bang Theory, Cuoco soared with The Flight Attendant, earning an Emmy nomination. Her personal life, however, unfolded with a series of dramatic turns. She married tennis player Ryan Sweeting in 2013, but their union ended 2 years later amid public revelations about his painkiller addiction. In 2021, her second marriage, to equestrian Carl Cook, also came to an end. Her relationship with actor Tom Pelphrey, father of her daughter, has been tested by the relentless demands of their busy schedules. By 2025, at 39, she is quietly at work on a new film. Her famous smile still shines, though now it carries a trace of the weariness left by years of personal turbulence. Jim Parsons as Sheldon Cooper. Born on March 24, 1973, Jim Parsons became the unforgettable Sheldon Cooper, embodying the brilliant physicist with his slyly unforgettable catchphrase, Bazinga. At 34, he stepped into a role that would not only define his career, but also make him a cultural icon. Rising from stage work to household name, Parsons earned 4 Emmy Awards and went on to produce Young Sheldon. Yet fame didn't shield him from personal trials. Since 2002, he has shared his life with Todd Spiewak, who became his husband in 2017. But when Parsons publicly came out as gay in 2012, it created a rift with his conservative Texas family, a wound that never truly healed. Financial difficulties followed in 2019 when a legal dispute with a former manager forced him to sell his luxury apartment. Now, in 2025, at 52 years old, Parsons works quietly on Broadway. Behind his calm presence, his eyes seem to carry the weight of the years, holding the stories of both triumph and heartbreak. Kunal Nayyar as Rajesh Koothrappali. Kunal Nayyar, born on April 30th, 1981, brought to life Rajesh Koothrappali, the gentle astrophysicist whose selective mutism became both his comedic trademark and a window into vulnerability. At 26, he began a role that brought him worldwide fame. Beyond The Big Bang Theory, Nayyar left his mark in theater and an array of diverse projects, but behind the success lay more personal battles. In 2011, he married Neha Kapoor, a former beauty queen. Yet a failed independent film investment in 2016 led to bitter disputes over lavish spending, casting a shadow over their marriage. By 2025, at 44, Nayyar performs quietly in theater. His eyes, once full of the wide-eyed optimism of early fame, now reflect the weight of the struggles he has endured. Simon Helberg as Howard Wolowitz. Born on December 9, 1980, Simon Helberg became Howard Wolowitz, the aerospace engineer with a flair for bold, eccentric fashion. At 26, he stepped into the role that would cement his place in television history. Helberg's journey took him from comedy stages to earning Golden Globe nominations, yet life beyond the set was far from carefree. Married to Jocelyn Towne since 2007, with whom he shares 2 children, their relationship weathered intense career pressures and the sting of a 2015 rumor linking him to an on-set assistant. Despite the strain, they worked to mend their marriage. In 2018, Helberg's career hit a financial setback when a contract dispute with producers cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars, forcing the sale of his Los Angeles apartment. By 2025, at 44, he has shifted quietly into voicing animated films. His once easy grin now carries the quiet fatigue of a man who has faced more storms than most fans would guess. Melissa Rauch as Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz. Melissa Rauch, born on June 23, 1980, portrayed Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz, the petite yet formidable microbiologist whose sharp wit belied her stature. At 29, she entered the role that would make her a familiar face to millions. From stand-up comedy to sitcom stardom, Rauch's career seemed bright, but her private life carried unspoken grief. Married to Winston Rauch since 2007, she endured the heartbreak of a miscarriage in 2017, a loss that deeply affected her mental health and placed strain on their marriage. By 2025, at 45, Rauch is quietly working on a new sitcom. Her smile remains, but in her eyes lingers the fatigue of years marked by both professional success and personal hardship. Mayim Bialik as Amy Farrah Fowler. Born on December 12, 1975, Mayim Bialik brought to life Amy Farrah Fowler, the brilliant but socially awkward neuroscientist whose quirks became a beloved part of the Big Bang Theory. At 35, she joined the cast, breathing new energy into her career. From her early sitcom days to hosting Jeopardy, Bialik's professional path was full of reinvention, yet her personal life carried heavy shadows. Her 2012 divorce from Michael Stone left her raising their 2 children on her own while battling depression that made the nights feel unbearably long. In 2021, public criticism over her Jeopardy hosting style bruised her reputation. Struggles with anxiety took a toll on her health, and a fall in 2019 left her with lasting wrist pain. By 2025, at 49, Bialik has stepped quietly into writing science books. The glow that once lit up her screen appearances now seems to fade gently, replaced by a quieter, more introspective presence. Kevin Sussman as Stuart Bloom. Born on December 4, 1970, Kevin Sussman portrayed Stuart Bloom, the lonely yet endearing comic book store owner who became a quiet fan favorite in The Big Bang Theory. At 36, he stepped into the role that brought him recognition after years of smaller parts. While his career found steady ground on screen, his personal life faced more turbulent chapters. In 2017, he divorced Alessandra Young and has since lived alone, battling depression as his professional momentum slowed. By 2025, at 54, Sussman is quietly preparing for a spin-off. His gaze, though steady, carries the imprint of years marked by professional uncertainty and private hardship. John Ross Bowie as Barry Kripke. Born on May 30, 1971, John Ross Bowie became Barry Kripke, the sharp-witted physicist with a distinctive lisp and a mischievous sense of humor in The Big Bang Theory. At 36, he stepped into the role that brought him widespread recognition. Bowie's career began in stand-up comedy and sitcoms, but life away from the spotlight was not without its challenges. Married to Jamie Denbo since 2004, with whom he shares 2 children, their demanding schedules created emotional distance. A public argument at a 2017 event drew unwanted media attention. By 2025, at 54, Bowie is working quietly on a new sitcom. His expression, while composed, carries the quiet fatigue of a man who has weathered life's more difficult seasons. Ann Susi, as Mrs. Debbie Wolowitz. Ann Susi, born on February 2, 1952, was the unforgettable voice of Mrs. Debbie Wolowitz, the hilariously overbearing mother never seen on screen but etched in the minds of fans. She took on the role at 55, adding a uniquely memorable touch to the series. Susi remained single throughout her life, dedicating herself to acting. Yet the financial struggles of the 1990s forced her to accept minor roles simply to pay the bills. A 2005 dispute with her manager cost her tens of thousands of dollars, pushing her into a cramped apartment. In 2012, she began battling lung cancer, a fight that left her physically weakened and often in too much pain to work, leading to long filming absences. Ann Susi died on November 11, 2014, at the age of 62. She left no visible on-screen legacy, but her voice alone had the power to bring both laughter and tears to millions. Wil Wheaton as Wil Wheaton. Wil Wheaton, born on July 29, 1972, played a fictionalized version of himself on The Big Bang Theory, delighting fans as Sheldon's humorous nemesis. At 35, the role helped revive his public image. Wheaton had first risen to fame as a young actor in Star Trek, The Next Generation, yet behind the success lay personal struggles. Since 1999, he has shared his life with Ann Prince, and together they have 2 children. Despite the stability of family life, Wheaton has long battled anxiety and depression, enduring many dark periods. In 2018, a deeply personal blog post about mental health sparked public debate, intensifying the pressure he faced. Financially, a 2016 lawsuit against a publisher drained his resources, and earlier hardships in the 2000s had already forced him to sell his home. By 2025, at 53, Wheaton writes quietly on his blog. His eyes, reflective and steady, seem to hold the weight of long and private battles. Brian George as Dr. V.M. Koothrappali. Brian George, born on July 1, 1952, took on the role of Dr. V.M. Koothrappali in The Big Bang Theory at the age of 55, portraying a stern but affectionate father. His career, built steadily since Seinfeld, gained further recognition from the role, yet his private life has been far from effortless. Married for many years, George has guarded his personal affairs closely. However, a failed real estate investment in 2014 led to financial loss and marital strain, with his wife accusing him of recklessness. By 2025, now 73, he continues working in animation, his gaze carrying the weariness of years hard-lived. Laura Spencer as Emily Sweeney. Born on May 8, 1986, Laura Spencer stepped into the role of Emily Sweeney, the quick-witted dermatologist and Rauch's romantic interest in The Big Bang Theory. At the age of 27, a role that thrust her into the public eye. Her career, which ranged from Bones to various sitcoms, earned her recognition, yet her personal life was marked by turbulence. A private person by nature, Spencer became even more guarded after a cryptic social media post in 2016 about betrayal sparked rumors of infidelity. By 2025, now 39, she continues to perform quietly in theater, her smile touched with the quiet fatigue of someone who has weathered difficult years. Christine Baranski as Dr. Beverly Hofstadter. Born on May 2, 1952, Christine Baranski brought to life the icy yet razor-sharp psychologist Dr. Beverly Hofstadter in The Big Bang Theory. She was 56 when she took on the role, adding another memorable chapter to her already distinguished career. Renowned for her award-winning work in The Good Wife, Baranski's personal life has been touched by deep loss. In 2014, she lost her husband, Matthew Cowles, and from then on raised their 2 daughters alone, facing many long, solitary nights. By 2025, at 73, she performs quietly on Broadway, her eyes bearing the quiet weight of endured hardship. Laurie Metcalf as Mary Cooper. Laurie Metcalf, born June 16, 1955, stepped into The Big Bang Theory at 52, portraying Mary Cooper, a devout mother with a heart full of warmth. The role enriched a career already lauded with 3 Emmy Awards for Roseanne, yet her personal journey has been shadowed by difficulty. In 2014, she divorced Matt Roth, raising their child alone while grappling with depression that turned nights into long, silent battles. A 2018 contract dispute with a producer bruised her public image, and chronic knee pain has since made stage work more demanding. By 2025, at age 70, she continues performing quietly in plays, her face etched with the lines of lived struggle. Stephen Hawking as Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, born on January 8, 1942, appeared on The Big Bang Theory as himself, the legendary theoretical physicist known not only for his groundbreaking work but also for his sly wit. At 70, his guest appearances left a lasting mark on the series. Hawking's personal life was as complex as his scientific theories. He married Jane Wilde in 1965, and together they had 3 children, but decades of strain ended their marriage in 1995. His second marriage to Elaine Mason ended in 2006 amid public allegations of abuse that drew intense media attention. Financial pressures arose in 2010 after a dispute with a charity strained his $20 million net worth, making it harder to cover his extensive medical needs. Diagnosed with ALS at 21, Hawking lived for decades with near-total paralysis, enduring chronic pain that left his body frail. On March 14, 2018, at the age of 76, he passed away, leaving behind a monumental legacy in science and a world mourning his loss. Ian Scott Rudolph as Captain Sweatpants. Born on August 15, 1965, Ian Scott Rudolph brought to life the light-hearted supporting role of Captain Sweatpants in The Big Bang Theory, a familiar face at the comic book store whose presence, though small, became warmly memorable. At 42, he stepped into the part, adding charm to the show through his understated humor. Outside of television, Rudolph built his career on small appearances in various sitcoms, yet kept his personal life firmly shielded from the public eye. The years with sparse acting work brought financial strain. In 2018, he was forced to sell his home, a loss that stirred sympathy among fans. By 2025, at age 60, Rudolph had quietly withdrawn from the entertainment world, even as the image of Captain Sweatpants continued to bring a smile to those who remembered him. Joshua Malina as Joshua Malina. Joshua Malina, born on January 17, 1966, was often mistakenly credited as Barry Kripke in certain online videos, though he never appeared in The Big Bang Theory. By the time he was 41, he had already earned acclaim for The West Wing, bringing to screen a presence both sharp and versatile. From stage to television, Malina's career was steady, yet his private life held its own storms. He married Melissa Merwin in 1996, and together they have 2 children, but a cryptic 2015 social media post from his wife about stress stirred speculation about strains in their marriage. By 2025, at age 59, Malina continues to work quietly in television dramas, his expression touched by a quiet exhaustion that hints at the years behind him. Brian Posehn as Bert Kibler. Born on July 6, 1966, Brian Posehn stepped into the role of Bert Kibler in The Big Bang Theory at age 47, giving life to the awkward yet endearing geologist who quickly became a fan favorite. Known for his work on the Sarah Silverman program and his sharp wit in stand-up comedy, Posehn's professional success has been shadowed by personal challenges. He married Melanie Truhett in 2004, and together they have 1 child, but his struggles with social anxiety often unraveled him during live performances. Health concerns have also lingered. High blood pressure and lingering wrist pain from a minor 2018 accident have left visible traces of weariness. By 2025, at 59, Posehn quietly readies himself for a spin-off, his gaze carrying the fatigue of years hard fought. Whose transformation surprised you most? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe for more stories. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.